Black Op Radio presents 50 Reasons for 50 Years. Why the Warren Commission may be the greatest fraud perpetrated on the American public. Now your host, Len Osanek.
Zapruder, Nix, much more. 3 films taken during the shooting in Dealey Plaza. These 3 films show Kennedy, at the time of the fatal headshot, being driven back forcefully into his seat. Despite this overwhelming evidence, despite the CIA, Secret Service, FBI, all having to have viewed these films that weekend, people had to have known there was more than one gunman in Dealey Plaza. Photographic expert analyst Robert Groden has been studying the case for decades. Here are his observations regarding the filmed evidence in Dealey Plaza.
This is Robert Groden from Dallas, Texas, the home, as it were, of the Kennedy assassination. The issue I want to discuss with you today is the filmed evidence of the assassination and how important it is.
May I have your name, please, sir?
My name is Abraham Zapruder, and as I was shooting, as the president was coming down from Houston Street making his turn, it was about halfway down there, I had a shot, and he slumped to the side like this. Then I had another shot or two. I couldn't say whether it was 1 or 2. And I saw his head practically open up, all blood and everything. And I kept on shooting. That's about all.
We're all familiar with the Zapruder film since I released it on 1975's Goodnight America with Geraldo Rivera.
That's the most upsetting thing I've ever seen. We'll talk about it in a minute.
The first time the public ever got to see the film. The important thing is to remember that it is not the only film of the assassination. The other 2 that are most important that we have are the Nix film and the Much More film. And they were taken from the other side of the street. They were taken from the south looking north, whereas the Zapruder film was taken from the north looking south. These 3 films all correspond with each other and verify the legitimacy of all 3 films to each other. There's an issue that's been out there now for a couple of years that the Zapruder film has been brought under question by people claiming that the Zapruder film has been faked. Well, it clearly has not been faked. It is legitimate, and people who are irresponsibly claiming that it's fake simply are just hurting the most important piece of evidence we've got in the case. Every single issue that has ever been brought up claiming that the Zapruder film has been faked is easy to explain and easy to show that these people really don't know what the heck they're talking about. The Zapruder film, the Much More film, the Nix film all show that the president was shot from the front, and this is very, very important because it proves a conspiracy. The Nix film and the Much More film have been taken from us. They have disappeared. Nobody knows where the originals are. My first-generation copies are the clearest remaining copies of the film, and they show what the people in the plaza would have seen and did see. Now, the fact that the Nix and Much More films have disappeared is frighteningly important because those films actually have a lot more on them that could show a lot more as far as analysis goes. And when I approached the owners of the films, which was at the time UPI, United Press International, and I told them what was on the film and what I could probably bring out from the film, which would be a very, very important story for them, they ignored me and refused to allow me to do the work. Then the films disappeared, and now we can't do what would need to be done and would add so much more to our examination of the assassination. After nearly 50 years now, we need to do as much as we can, and unfortunately these have been taken from us.
All 3 films were purchased by major media interests in the assassination's aftermath, and all the films became damaged or lost while in their control. The CIA's National Photographic Intelligence Center analyzed a copy of the Zapruder film a few days after the assassination and concluded there were at least 2 gunmen. Only a few Warren Commission members actually watched the Zapruder film. In the Warren Commission report, frames showing the fatal headshot were reversed to hide the president's backward movement. This was later claimed to be a printing error.
Stay tuned for the next installment as we expose week after week 50 lies the Warren Commission would like you to believe.